pound, I get broads in Atlanta, twisted up lean shit, sippin' fountain. Credit cards in the scammers, wake up beside you, let designer, whole bunch of ladies shit. They be acting rats, I know be clapping shit. I be pulling us up in the finest shit. I got plenty just up with Bugatti, but look how I tried this shit. Black is 6, found him. Why is he killing no comma? Pop a perk, I got stunning gorilla, they come and kill you with bananas. For feelings, I feel it, pull up in the fountain, no nigga.
Welcome back. I'm gonna talk through and fly through a quick tutorial on how to do proximity power loops. A couple of key elements. Again, this is not the gold standard, just kind of what I do to tighten up my power loops so I'm not hucking them way out and I'm staying really close to my target objective. A couple of key things to note. One is the angle of your flight camera. This will determine how much you need to pitch or how big your arc should be in flight. And it also, depending on how familiar you are or how long you've been flying, it'll also let you know how much throttle you'll need to input to get over whichever object it is you're trying to power loop. Case in point is if you're running like 0 degrees, you're going to want to arc less. You'll actually pop up over your target and then be in this attitude longer before turning down in and spotting your point of entry into your power loop section. Versus me with the steeper angle, I'm going to have to pop up and arc back a little bit further to get a bigger arc, or actually a less steep arc, to get me over my target objective and into the entry area. So I've chosen this little site here. It's got one low area that we're going to power loop, and then it's got another big area which we're going to power loop. And the reason I did that was because I want to show you the difference in the throttle input. So first things first, what I want to do is just recommend line of sight. The key here, I'm running 6S 5-inch 4.3 or 4.1 by 3 props. What you want to know and what you need to know is how much elevation your quad gains on a full throttle blip. So hopefully I'm not blinding everybody out. Let's just move for a second here. So what I'm talking about is most everyone can do, you know, tail end line of sight throttle blips for the most part. I don't make an assumption here, but the reason I recommend this is because this will allow you to visually see how high your quad goes on a full throttle pump. So when you want to power loop something, you know, this gives you an idea generally of how high you're going to go with a full throttle blip. Half throttle blip, you know, 3/4 throttle blip, full throttle blip. And why that's important is because it's going to give you visualization and the mental reference as how high your quad is going to go when you put that amount of throttle input over top of whatever it is you're trying to power loop. So enough talking, let's get into this, and I'm going to show you visually and through the video what I'm talking about here so that it makes sense. You guys aren't like, oh, he's just saying, he's talking gibberish. Nah, this ain't gibberish. So like I said, you've gone out, you've done some line of sight, so now you have a visual reference. I know how high my quad goes when I give it full throttle. So woo, that's the instinct, is to go full blast. I wasn't trying to hit the roof there, but that's where that camera angle is important, what I was talking about. The instinct is to go way up and over. You want to avoid that. So my recommendation is find an area that's forgiving for your quad, so if you do crash, it's not going to explode. But start to feel out how much throttle you need to put to get the right elevation and the right arc. So I'm going to go up and over. It's probably a bad area to do this, but that wall is jacking me, man. But you guys kind of get the point. I'm half throttle up and then half throttle arc to get it all the way over. Not full throttle. I can still do it full throttle, but that's less preferred. Just enough to get you over your target objective to power loop and stay tight. So you also got to be quick on the sticks, because if you come up short, you need to be able to recover fast, not smack into whatever it is. So again, that's a full throttle blip. You see how far I went? You don't want to do that, so let's try 3/4 blip. That's right where we want to be. So 3/4 blip, that's right where we want to be. keeps you nice and tight to your target area, and you get nice clean loops. So one other thing I'll recommend, I want to try and keep this short. I'm all over the map here, but as you guys do this, woo, like I said, practice that. You'll want to get really good at saving yourself. It'll come naturally because you'll likely hook into something many times over and over again. So again, remember, 3/4 throttle will get us over this. Arc. To keep those oscillations out of your dive, keep your nose oriented towards the ground. So stay in the dive as long as possible. And something else to note, as you guys just noticed, depending on how much speed you have or how much momentum you have coming into a power loop, will determine how much speed or momentum you'll need to carry through the power loop. But keep your nose down. That'll keep those oscillations at it. All right, guys, I think I've talked enough. So again, remember, line of sight, do some throttle blips to kind of get the idea. That was full throttle blip. Look how high I went. That's really high. Let's do a 3/4 blip. Just to recap, 3/4 blip. That's the right altitude. That's where I want to be on my my throttle pump. And then it's an arc. So 3/4 and arc back. Puts us right in where we want to be. Keeps us nice and tight to the roof. And then the other part is the arc. That just comes with a lot of practice, and it's based on how much camera angle you're running. And then I believe that's pretty much it, guys. This one takes a lot of practice. It's a lot of stick time. You really need to work out how much throttle input's required to get over your target without smacking it, and then you'll start learning how to recover your quad. And by that I mean, if you cut it short, how much throttle and that speed of like, oh man, I gotta save myself. But I think that's it. If you guys got any questions, feel free to hit me up. I've talked all over the place because I was flying and talking, but hopefully you guys get the gist. And like I said, got questions, hit me. Peace.